The Man Who Forget Himself, inspired by Christopher Nolan's Memento 2000, a neo-noir descent into the fragile architecture of memory, where true fades, lies repeat, and every moment feels like deja vu. His story isn't about a man solving a mystery. Subscribe and let's go deeper into the mind's labyrinth. The end comes first. A Polaroid develops in reverse. Blood flows backward into the room. A belt slides into a gong, and a scream rewinds into silence. That's how Leonard Shelby's story begins with an ending he can remember. He stands over a dead man, calm, composed, almost peaceful. For a second, he looks content, as if the emptiness inside him has finally been filled. Then he blinks. Confusion floods in. He stares at the gun in his hand, the blood on the floor. He doesn't remember pulling the trigger. He doesn't even remember why he's here. Because Leonard has no short-term memory. Every few minutes, his mind resets, like a film reel cutting to back. He's trapped in a loop where time runs forward, but his memories run backward. Notes written on flesh. Leonard's body tells his story better than his mind. Each tattoo is a breadcrumb in a maze of forgetting. On his chest, John G. raped and murdered my wife. On his arm, never answered the phone. Across his thigh, consider the source. The words are scars, not of pain, but of purpose. Every morning, he reads himself into existence. He touches the egg, whispers the names, and for a few precious minutes, believes he knows who he is. He keeps box of Polaroids, snapshots of faces and places, each labeled with desperate handwriting. Friend, don't trust her. He lies. In Leonard's world, handwriting is truth, and photographs are memory. But what happens when the handwriting lies? When the photograph was taken by a man who already forgot why he took it? The woman who knows too much. Natalie in terms like storm disguised as mercy. She has that look, tired eyes that have seen too much, but lips that still know how to smile. She helps Leonard, or at least she says she does. She writes notes for him, guides him, comforts him, and then, when he forgets, she changes the story. Her kindness is a weapon sharpened on his confusion. She spats when and waits for his memory to fade, and then returns to sweetness. Leonard doesn't remember the cruelty, so he only sees the care. That's her power and his curse. The Man Who Pretends to Be a Friend. Teddy, a man with the smile of a salesman and the eyes of a ghost. He calls Leonard Lenny, a name that sounds friendly but isn't. He knows things about Leonard, about his wife, about the night that started it all. Too much, maybe. Teddy says he's helping. He tells Leonard where to go, who to trust, who to kill. But the truth slips out in fragments that maybe Teddy isn't helping at all. Maybe he's just using Leonard because a man who forgets can be taught to kill. And Leonard, he's been taught very well. The robbers, the story folds in on itself. Since playback for events overlap, we start seeing what Leonard can't. The man he killed wasn't the one who murdered his wife. It was just another name, another lie he chose to believe. He's done this before, again and again, each time erasing the evidence, each time creating a new Janji to chase because the truth is unbearable. His wife that survived the attack, she loved, while Leonard's broken mind kept resetting. He became violent, confused, until one day he gave her an insulin overdose, believing he was helping her. And when she did, he replaced that memory with a story he could live with. He turned his guilt into revenge and called it justice. The choice to forget. Now we're back at the beginning or maybe the end. Leonard stands on the washed out sky, his body covered in fading ink, his car full of lies written in Polaroid frames. Teddy tells him everything. He tells him the truth that he already found and killed his wife's real attacker long ago. Leonard listens, then he smiles because he understands something that he doesn't. Truth doesn't matter if he can remember it. He takes a pen, writes a note. Simple lie. Don't believe his lies. It's the last thing he'll remember and the first lie of his next life. Memory as punishment, which is meaning because meaning feels safer than truth. But Leonard's story shows what happens when memory itself becomes a weapon. His curse isn't amnesia, it's an illusion of purpose. He believes he is avenging love, but really he is running from guilt. A man forever caught between remembering and forgetting, rewriting his pain to make it bearable. And maybe that's what we all do. We lie to ourselves. We tattoo our guilt with prettier words and call it memory. If memory is all what makes us who we are, what happens when memory lies? If you've ever wished to forget, remember Leonard, because some stories don't end, they just restart.